I believe that was yes. President Nova, welcome. And Brother Bob, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? All right.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can.
All right. Well, you're stuck with me for a while. So Zachary is on holiday with his family for a long weekend. So we won't have the assistance of Zachary to help me. So, but we are feeling our way uh, in a new approach to studying the Torah. And we are using the sealed book sort of as a lens. I guess that's okay way to say it, for our guide or a guide to studying the Torah. And I did put out a spreadsheet a while back, but and I'm just following that. But it's not. You don't need to pull it up. It's just we are now studying the beginnings of the house of Israel. And this has got to be one of the most fascinating themes in all of Scripture. And to realize what God is doing with the house of Israel, why He chose what's now the house of Israel, what's His plan, just why is it so important for the Lord to concentrate on this small group of people. At one time it got rather large while it was in captivity in Egypt. We've estimated when they left Egypt, what did we figure? 600,000 men plus the women and the children, and there was like probably several million, 2-3 million people who crossed the Red Sea. And then when they were in the desert, they undoubtedly continued to grow. And then, of course, it's amazing how large they became. But the house of Israel, we've got to get in our mind just what this is. This is not something that's distant from us. It's not like we're studying something that happened 4,000 years ago or 3 or 2,000 years ago. This is happening today, because the Lord in Revelation has said that He's gathering the tribes of Israel. And I'll just quote, He just said that you look at the screen, you're looking at the house of Israel. Okay? That's the main point in my mind, is that the Lord is gathering the house of Israel. There may be, sorry, what was that? Was that a question?
Brother Aaron raised a hand.
Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
I don't know if it's relevant to the topic or not, but I have noticed that Jacob also has the name Jezreel, and I just always wondered what that means. And I don't know if that's connected to his climb up the ladder and possibly like the higher sentiments, and so he obtained that new name. But I don't know. I'm also kind of just thinking how I read out of the sealed book how Abram's name was changed from Abram to Abraham. And I don't know if that's really even relevant or significant, but I wanted to bring that to our attention. Jezreel.
Well, you're going to have to be the teacher on that one, because I don't know. So, okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
But is everybody on the same page? You realize that this little group of people, the flock that He's gathering now in the second invitation, is part of the gathering of the house of Israel. Is there any question on that? Is there any doubt on that? It's like, wow. So, yeah, Brother Brian or
Yeah.
Darren.
Yeah. I'll just comment that I have a strong feeling the same, Brother Bob. For some time, I've thought deep and long about it, and I thought, well, we must be fitting into those stones somewhere, into that house of Israel, and how and where that's a mystery to us, but God knows where we fit into that. And we know that the sons of Levi will be purified in that time that it says in the seal book and in other books as well. But especially in the seal book, I noted that bit, that before his coming, that the sons of Levi will be purified. And I sort of look for that in what is coming. And we still don't know what is being done beyond our little group in Brazil and the USA and here and all around the world, that with the ones we're connected with. There's got to be more going on behind the scenes than we're aware of. But I do notice one thing, and I won't go on much longer, but I'm noticing the younger generation that's coming up now is changing. Their thoughts are changing. They're becoming more thoughtful and helpful, which is, in my generation, that wasn't there. And just after my generation, just after me, when I grew up, I noticed it was becoming a bit more bitter and hateful. But I'm noticing the younger generation now is changing. They're becoming more thoughtful of the elderly, more thoughtful of those in need. And this must be a plan that Christ has, or God has, for his people. And I just wanted to comment that I observe these things. I'm seeing these things, and it's just a beginning, I think. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Brother Bob. I'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you. Very good. So, but just from what you've said, Brother Darren, this is a. Oh, excuse me, just a moment. Okay, this is a gathering, and so that implies that what you see before you is not the whole story. Is that the Lord will gather from all quarters of the earth, from every tribe, kindred, tongue, and people, the elect, his elect, those that listen to his voice, those who desire to keep his commandments, those who are of the lineage in the house of Israel, whether they know it or not. And so there's more to come. And that's the whole purpose of the second invitation is a gathering, because Jacob went to, we're going to read a little bit here in Genesis again and about Jacob. Jacob went with his family to Egypt, and 400 years later, they became this mighty nation. Well, I don't anticipate there being 400 years in the second invitation for the small group of people to grow to such a large number just internally, or with the natural increase. So it's the gathering that's going to cause the second invitation to grow. And so that's the point. I think this is, God has never given up on perfecting this house of Israel. And I want to read in Words of Moroni 42, just the last part, but I'll read the whole verse. It says, so Words of Moroni, verse 42, being that among these first few things that will be drawn from the first sealed set, being every book put together in a later period of time, will be sufficient to awaken the faith in the followers of Christ. And so I guess we could say awaken the faith of the children of Israel, if that might be another way to say it, who will proceed from this great and marvelous work that will take place when these things begin to take place among the covenant people in the fullness of times. Now, the covenant people, who are they? I mean, just who could give us a brief answer to that? Who is the covenant people? Brother Aaron?
The children of Abraham.
And who would they be?
I
Again,
think all of his, but this is just my opinion, so you don't have to agree. I think it relates spiritual and temporal, but I don't know everything. I'm still learning. That's just what I think. Thank you.
okay. Brother Darren or Brian?
I'm just going to say, Brother Bob, this is my thought anyway. Dad's got a comment to come as well, but I think it's those who keep the commandments and all things that have been instructed, because it says in Revelation in the last days that Satan will fight those who keep the commandments of the Lord, those who believe in that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and keep the commandments and do all things that are required. But that's just my thought.
Yeah.
And all the covenants. Yeah, go ahead, Dad.
I think that we are part of those that are going to inherit the promises if we keep the commandments. The Lord has always wanted a special people, a property. Somewhere here in the seal book, it says that the Lord wanted to have a his faithful, that he could claim them to be, connected with him. And I'm sorry, I haven't got that reference.
I think it's in
but
Exodus 3,
but there's so many promises the Lord makes, which could include those who keep the commandments and love one another and serve one another. And anyway, perhaps I better leave it at that because I'm learning too, Brother Bob.
Yeah.
Okay. I think our answers are good. And I'm looking at it. The rest of the sentence says, begin to take place among the covenant people in the fullness of times, that the Lord may stretch forth his hand for the last time, that he may redeem his people that are of the house of Israel. And so it brings it right down to the current day. And I was thinking recently about your baptismal covenant. When we entered the waters of baptism and took the sacrament, we made a covenant with the Lord Jesus Christ that we would take his name upon us and keep his commandments. And so that is the covenant. And you can only call yourself part of the covenant people if you obey that covenant. Because God can only count those who are willing to keep their part of the bargain. So that's in the general sense. That's what I'm thinking. Is Brother Darren said that specifically those who keep the commandments, those who keep their baptismal covenant, those who are willing to keep the commandments of God, and those are the ones that he's gathering, that he may redeem his people who are the house of Israel. And so let's go on now. Again, Brother Aaron.
I like this because many times when I'm reading both versions of the sealed book, I'll also hear the Portuguese words for covenant, oath, and one of the words is pacto, like pact. It sounds like the word pact. And I just want to share that. I just find that really interesting. So it is who obeys the commandments of God 100%. It's like how the Lord said in the last days, where the carcass is, there's where the buzzards will be gathered. And I think this applies to bad and to good. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do is to go back to Genesis. This is where our class today was focused on the Torah. And I'd like to read through Genesis chapter 47. And this is about Jacob's experience in Egypt. I want us to sort of put yourself there. Put yourself, I've got a program I can try to show on the screen here. It was here. Well, I'll try to find it. Let me do that before I rave on too much. Okay, tell me if that's coming up.
I don't see anything yet.
No.
Well, we'll try again then. Did that work?
No, not yet,
Right,
brother.
let me try one more.
Not yet. We can always read it too.
Yeah,
All right, I'm going to try it one more thing. One more time.
I think Brother Aaron wanted to say something too.
Okay.
Brother Bob,
Yep, go ahead, Brother Aaron.
I can read chapter 47 if I need
oh,
to.
he's got it. That's
There we
up.
see it.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I had to close the program. That's okay. That's fine with me. Yeah. So what I thought, this is pretty long. We're just, Aaron, why don't you read like the first 10 verses here, and let's go back in time and join into this experience. So go ahead, Brother Aaron, if you can start there with verse 1.
Okay, Genesis 47, verse 1. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. And they said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come. For thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And
Okay,
Joseph,
let's stop there for just a moment. Okay, So we read this account. Um, what is this heritage that the Pharaoh has given to Jacob and his family? It was the best land that we just read. It was and the parallel to that, of course, is the end result of the house of Israel having a promised land. Uh, and this had to seem like a promised land to the um, uh, to Jacob and his family, because of it was such a famine in Canaan, and so the Lord really did a miracle here to give them this opportunity to have such a wonderful place to live. So, are there any other comments? And then we'll go on. Okay, brother Aaron, why don't you just go ahead and read some more?
Okay. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. And when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, We will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph brought.
Yeah, go read this next one.
Okay. And Joseph brought all the land. Oh, sorry. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's.
Isn't that interesting? I don't know if I remember that from before, but the Pharaoh became the owner of all the land. So I thought his position of Pharaoh, I mean, you thought he would have owned everything anyway, but I guess not. They must have had private ownership of land, but because of the famine, what they exchanged, what they owned for the wheat that was stored and so on. So I found that was interesting. Are there any other comments? I can't see who that is.
That was me and Brother Aaron. I see a foreshadowing here. Talks about the monetary system failing, talks about trade having to be done by agricultural goods, and I'm seeing that that's where things are going. We've been told that the monetary system is going to fail eventually. We're being told, we have been told in Brazil to build up, agriculture and agricultural businesses, and that will be, our the means to sustain, those in the refuges and around. So, I really see a foreshadowing here of what is to come. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Well, I like that comment very much. That because that makes it apply even to us today. That um, exactly that those things are before us again. So who was someone else? Aaron had a comment.
Yes, as I was reading, I kind of saw a pattern that happened in the Great Depression time and things to come, and very much foreshadowing like what Brother Rex was saying exactly. So very much relates to the second invitation, and investing in things that actually have a raw value, not just the bonds of Babylon that are nothing. And also, I think of this verse in the sealed book from Sealed Moses, chapter 11, verse 5. And behold, thou shalt be a light unto my people in the last days, to deliver them in the days of their captivity from bondage to the precepts of men, and to bring them salvation when they are completely bowed down under the sin of obstinacy in their hearts. One thing I wanted to share is there is a mystery that a lot of archaeologists still don't know what happened to civilization, but there was some kind of stop to where all the economy that was happening in around that time stopped, like a great catastrophe or something. And me personally, I believe that it was the plagues in Egypt, because I think that Egypt definitely had a major spot in the ancient world. And I think I just want to stop there so that I can give it back to you, Brother Bob.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Well, let's go on with our story. Are you still good to read, Aaron? Starting at verse 21?
Yes.
Okay.
And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them, wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, Behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for the seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my Lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen. And they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. And he called his son Joseph, and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt, but I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said.
Okay.
And he's
all right. Thank you. So here we have what we see the success of the Israelites, and Jacob was given the promise. He asked to be buried with his fathers. And what else was it? Were there any other comments on this part? That the people gathered to the cities. I found that interesting. And anyway, so they were grateful that saved your life. Joseph saved their lives. I guess there's just one more verse. Go ahead, Aaron, and read that one.
And he said, Swear unto me. And he sware unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head.
Okay. All right. So that's Genesis 47. So the Lord preserved him and took care of him. And as Brother Rex was saying, I think there's definite parallel to what's in store today if the people remain the covenant people. So any other comments there? Go ahead, whoever made that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. Brother Bob, I was just looking back a little further over all of this and see the Lord's hand at work when Joseph's brothers sold him into Egypt. And from what happened to Joseph from that time till, the end of this reading in verse 47, chapter 47, rather, verse 31. And to see that the Lord has been with them all the way through, because it started off that the promise made by God to Abraham that through his seed all the earth will be blessed. And that wasn't a covenant, that was actually a gift from God and to Abraham and his seed. And the covenants came in as, the things unfolded and various things happened. But it was just remarkable that Joseph got to the point of, almost totally in control of what was happening for Pharaoh, and the success really was a blessing for Pharaoh because of Joseph's influence and understanding and blessing from God. That was just an overview of the whole picture, and perhaps I don't know all the answers, but I see God's hand at work totally all the way through here. Thank you.
Very good comment there, Brother Brian. We want to go on then with a reading from the sealed book of Moses. And I wanted to say before we do this, Jacob's going to give a blessing to his children, to his sons anyway. And in the second invitation, have you noticed the emphasis on keys of authority keys, like keys to the high priesthood, keys to the dispensation, like Joseph Smith Jr.'s and Mauricio's key to for the dispensation. Sister Haffiella has the keys to the authority for the ministry to the LGBT. The bishop, I guess, has a key of authority for the Aaronic priesthood, etc. And they're very important, and they're passed. The authorities the keys are passed through the laying on of hands. There's a term that I wasn't familiar with. It's called imposition of the hands. And so when a person is ordained, given a priesthood authority, say the keys or authority to be a priest in the church or an elder or a high priest, it's done through a prayer and the laying on of hands. And so I found that's really, it's so simple, yet it's so important that this take place. Even in Mauricio, when it was time to restore the high priesthood, the Melchizedek high priesthood office, there was no one on earth that had the authority and the keys to the high priesthood. And so, does anyone remember how that occurred? How did Brother Mauricio receive the keys or the authority for the Melchizedek high priesthood? Somebody just go ahead and answer.
I don't know if this is correct, but my understanding is that at one point he was caught up and marked physically and spiritually.
Yes, and that's, I think may have occurred at a second time. That experience that you had talked about is that Mauricio was on the mountain, Mount Agudo, with Joni, Wagner, and Valdesi, and he became missing for 40 minutes, they say. And Mauricio testifies he was in one of those bubbles of light, and they went to the holy mountain, the Mount Zion, and that's when he was marked with the keys on his body to preside over the second invitation. But then later, after that occurrence, later he was on Mount Agudo. And again, I think it was the same three people that was with him, because I remember asking Brother Wagner to write up his testimony about it. And Mauricio received the keys or the authority of the high priesthood, Melchizedek high priesthood, through the angel Moroni. And so that's how that was returned to the earth, because there was no one on earth that had that authority. And so that's how we have the office of high priest in the church today. And so that was returned. And then because the office is returned, then other high priests can be ordained. Brother Mauricio can ordain another high priest. I suppose any of the people who, like Brother Samuel, ordained Brother Rex to be a high priest. And so once that has been restored, it can be passed on. So that's just my observation about the keys. And so I think that's connected with the blessings. Okay, Brother Rex, I'm not sure what time we keep anymore. Are we going to continue with the class for a while, or tell me what time, when's our stopping time for the class?
Well, we've been trying to end, between 3 and 3:15. So I think if we could hit that, that would be good. And also, Brother Darren has raised his hand.
Okay, well, let's take Brother Darren's question, and then we'll stop here for this time, and we'll continue the next time we gather for Torah studies. We'll continue with this at this place. Okay, Brother Darren?
Well, it's Brother Brian.
Brother Brian.
Oh, thank you. My question was, I thought there was some passing on of authority from Joseph Frederick Smith to Brother Mauricio Berger, and I'm not certain now. My mind's cloudy on the memory of that, but I thought that was his role, and there was a time when he was going to leave the meeting, and he was sort of by the Lord anyway, to stay where he was, and it was connected to the passing on of some authority. Is that correct? My mind is wrong.
There's a couple of events run together there. Okay, so Brother Joseph Frederick Smith is an elder in the church, or was an elder in the church. And at the time of the starting the second invitation in 2017, he was an elder. And this is really important. This is probably the greatest work that Brother Joseph Frederick Smith did, and we should be forever indebted to him for this, because he was of the lineage of Joseph Smith Jr., because through Alexander Hale Smith, the son of Joseph Smith Jr., The RLDS kind of stemmed down through Joseph Smith III, but his brother, Joseph Alexander Hale Smith, was the, in the lineage of Joseph Smith, Joseph Frederick Smith. And so there was Alexander Hale Smith, I think Arthur Smith, and then Joseph Frederick Smith. So he was a direct descendant of Joseph Smith Jr., the great grandson of Joseph Smith Jr. And so this was the lineal priesthood that was so critical. The Lord wants the priesthood, the lineal priesthood, to pass from father to son, or to father to the next righteous son. And so Joseph Frederick Smith traveled to Brazil with Bob Moore, and that's when Joseph, I believe, baptized Mauricio and ordained him to the office of elder, so he could receive that lineal priesthood. Okay, and so that was his great contribution to the church. And so then later, another event that Mauricio was called to the mountain to receive the Melchizedek high priesthood. That's when Moroni ordained him, because there was no one on earth to do that. And so then on another occasion, Mauricio then Joseph Frederick Smith was there, and Joseph was to be ordained to be a high priest, like Mauricio just received, but Joseph sort of hesitated because he didn't really believe in high priests, because the Church of Christ Temple lot, where Joseph had been raised, doesn't believe in the high priesthood, the Melchizedek high priest. And so Joseph was sitting in the chair, and I guess there was some hesitancy on Joseph's part, and he was kind of thinking, no, I don't want to do this. And so he was about to get up out of the chair. Mauricio was going to ordain him, and the Spirit constrained Joseph and spoke to him and said something to the effect that if you get out of this chair, all is going to be lost.
Yeah.
And so he remained in the chair. He was ordained to be the high priest. And then he went back to Missouri, and then that's when your family, McClellan family, went to the conference in 2019 out at rural Holden, Missouri, and Joseph organized the church and so on in Missouri as a high priest. So does that answer all the points of it? I think
Yeah. And can I just add something, Brother Bob? I heard that correct too. That I heard that from straight from Brother Joseph Frederick Smith's mouth. I remember he gave a testimony about that, and that's exactly what happened, what you said. And also, just out of curiosity, when Brother Mauricio had that 40 days in the wilderness that he had to be tested, did he receive the blessing to get more keys because of that time that he had away from everybody? He disappeared for a while. Was it 40 days? I don't know how long it was. Not exactly, but I know that he had a time where he was tested against some things. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Sorry.
Yes, he was called. Now, this was another event. When did this have been? 2018's. See, 19. Anyway, I have to look up the year, but there was a period of months where Mauricio was removed. He removed himself from Paliosa and went through his desert experience. And he showed us the town. We were driving to look at a farm, and he said, "Oh, this is the town that he went to for his desert experience." And he had an apartment there, and this is when the demons came and tormented him. But he did he did so well through that experience. The Lord in the agreement, I guess, I don't know, the powers to be, the Mauricio was able to claim another key, and that was to the LGBT, to release the LGBT souls from prison. And so that was the ministry to the LGBT. He won that, or gained that, as a successful completion of his trials in the desert. And that's why the emphasis now in the church, that LGBT ministry has been advanced. But now, subsequent to that, Mauricio said that those keys were starting to fade in him, and the Lord directed him to give those to Sister Rafaela, because she holds those keys now. And so still the ministry is able to continue. And so there was that. And so that was an amazing thing. The Lord described it. There's been few prophets in over human history that did so well as Mauricio did. And so we're grateful for that. There's Melva to correct my. Go ahead, Melva.
Yes. I just want to mention, when we talk about Brother Mauricio receiving these keys, there was a literal, I don't know if you would call it burning, but there's an imprint on his skin of those keys. And I was privileged to see one of them anyway, back in December 2018. And so it's a literal mark on his body that is given at that time when he received the key or keys. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Melba, for that. And that is amazing. So whenever you go swimming with Brother Mauricio, you might have an opportunity to have a glimpse at the at the marks. All right. Well, thanks everyone for your class. I hope this was edifying, and I really enjoyed the discussion. I think we need to talk and to study together, because everyone benefits. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Brother Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
Thoroughly enjoyed the class, and I'm still learning, and it's amazing in my mind how cloudy 5 years or 6 years is on your mind, unless you have it refreshed every now and then it becomes usable, and it fits in to the pattern of what the Lord wants us to understand, and we understand then our part a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Aaron.
Can you guys see my, excuse me, can you see my screen?
Yes.
I wanted to bring this to your attention, McClellans, because Brother Mauricio wrote an article in this periodical specifically about that topic of the priesthood. And it's really good. And I think it's priceless, like Brother Bob was saying.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's the second article. And I love the first article because it's about the upcoming conference.
Right.
Yeah. What month is that, Brother Aaron? That's Echoes of Restoration, is it?
It is July 2025, but it's the
thank you.
special. Make sure you look through your files and it says special conference edition.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Because there's
that.
there's two July editions.
Yep.
Right.
And they're both really good, but this was the first issue.
Thank you.
You can see it says special conference.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I agree. Very good class. Thank you, Brother Bob. Thank you, everyone, for the comments and questions. It is important that we study together. I'll have a lot of time left, but I'll just bring up, as we've been requested to just remind everyone of preparations for the conference. Doing those things spiritually and temporally that are needed. Be praying for all those that desire to go to be able to, and for the ability of the chapel to be completed and all necessary arrangements to be made, and of course the general authorities, praying for them as well. Are there any comments or questions or anything? Please, Clellens.
Well, Sister Melva knows some of the good news, and probably Brother Bob there as well, but I've got some more good news. It's all good. Yesterday I spent the majority of the day going through and getting mums and dads Brazil visa completed, and we've now paid for those as well, and mine's been approved. So we're in the process of getting that approved, and hopefully that goes through. We'll pray for that. And beyond that, it's just book tickets and accommodation and make sure that we get everything in place, I guess. And Sister Melva's been very good in guidance on giving us some direction on what to do there. And we thank her for that. And we thank everybody for their prayers in getting those visas too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you want to comment at all?
No, well, I'm thrilled to bits to think that, we've left it in the Lord's hands, and but I'm sure that the blessings will come, and that also that our health will hold.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. There's many things that fit together to ensure that we'll be there, but we want to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. With the Lord's will.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's wonderful. If there's not any other things to be brought up pertaining to the conference, we'll go ahead and proceed with our closing hymn and then the benediction. Okay. Brother Aaron, would you be willing to give benediction after the closing hymn?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So this one is probably my favorite Christmas hymn, and as we are approaching that date that most of the world celebrates for the coming of Christ into the world, I thought that we would share in this together. This is Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and this is in the Gray Hymnal 156.
Let's pray. Gracious Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to meet together. We thank you for all that thou hast restored in this second invitation. And we do hearken and pray for to be faithful and loyal unto you, and to be thy diligent subjects. And therefore we hearken and pray to obey strictly, that we might be counted as thy people. And therefore we pray to have a more outpouring of thy Spirit, that we will be strengthened thereby, and be one under thy wing, and fulfill the commandments wherewith thou hast commanded us. We thank you and pray that you will pave the way for us, and bless us to be in the right state of mind, and bless also all those around us, and most especially those who are in need more so than others, in whether mental, spiritual, physical, or even financial. We pray for more especially, and that we let our light shine, and proceed shoulder to shoulder, soldiers of Christ. In thy Son's most holy name, even Jesus Christ, we thank you and pray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you. As I shut the recording off here, just a few reminders.